Are you seeing the screen, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, we are seeing the screen.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kirpatadham Bande Shri Gurum Dintaranam Pramanand Madhvam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama राम राम हरे 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 नाम संकीर्तन की जय 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 श्री श्री ग्रंथराज भागवत गीता की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णविंद की जय जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय सिंबल भक्तविंद की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल. So we'll start from verse number 13 today, and I just wanted to quickly run through what we have been talking about: freedom from bondage through karma yoga. That section we completed, and we are going to start 5 factors for action. So I think we are pretty good. I have done twice recap. So in verse number 12, it says that if one is not renounced, then their karma is of 3 types: anishtam, ishtam, or mishram. That what would happen. So most of the living being, they are bound in these 3 types of action. What is that? Anishtam, Ishtam, Mishram. Anishtam, that will take them to the lower planet system. Heinous activity, we say. And Nishtam, Anishtam and Ishtam means pious deed, and that will give them heavenly enjoyment. And Mishram means Punarapi Janmam, Punarapi Marnam. Not lower, not higher, stay where we are. So living beings are very much bound in these 3 types of actions. So what cause the action then? Right, that's very important. What are the factors for action to take place? And this is extremely important segment that we have to know, you have to understand. So Panchaitani Mahabaho Karnani Karan Karnani Nibodhame Sankhye Kirtante Proktani Proktani means being said Siddhaye Sarva Karmanam. So there are Panchaitani, there are 5 factors that is supposed to be, or that is known as Proktani, that is said to be Proktani, that is said to be the cause of Sarva Karmanam, all the action that happens, all types of action. It is said that there are 5 factors. So let's see what are those factors. Adhisthanam tatha karta. Adhistha means place of action. And then karta, the doer. So place of action is kshetra, which is the body. And then doer, Doer is in fact soul, but soul has false ego. So these actions are happening under false ego. So karta. And then karan. So adhisthanam, karta, karanam. What is the cause? Instrument. And instrument for the actions are senses. Eyes will see something, and from there it will trigger. Oh, I saw it. It looks pretty good. It looks very nice. I would like to have it. And then once chesta comes, then one engage into the action. So karnam, the instrument of action. So adhisthanam, karta, प्रकृति क्रिया मनाने गुण कर्माणि सर्वस्व अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा कार्ता हमिति मन्यते. Ahankar vimudatma. We are not the doer, but due to false ego, kartahamiti manyate. We think that I am the doer. And then karnam, the instrument of the action, which is our senses. And then chesta, the effort, the endeavor. By life airs with various functions. So the chesta, the effort that is being exerted, the desire of getting into the action. And then the fifth one is daivam, the supreme soul. So these five factors have to be together for any action to happen. Adhisthanam, karta, karnam, chesta, and fifth one is daivam. So all of the four factors, the place, the doer, the instrument, and the endeavor, all these four factors are controlled by daivam. Daivam in this case, divine will. An ultimate divine will, Sarvakaran Karnam, Ishvara Brahma Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaran Karnam. Cause of all the causes is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So all of these four can be controlled by the Supreme Lord. So it's very important to note. I'll just little bit detour and give you some more background. So five causes are listed here. This is the purport by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Adhisthanam means body, right? We are Kshetra. And then Karta means the Ahankar, which ties together the soul with the body. So Ahankar, due to Ahankar, soul is encapsulated in a body. So Karta. And then Karnam means the senses, such as eyes or ears. And then Chesta refers to the life airs such as Prana, Apana, which have various functions, Pritak Pritak functionality. So Chesta, endeavor, we are making endeavor. And then Daiva refers to Antaryami, who sets everything in motion. So these are five causes. What happens? This discussion comes in Srimad Bhagavatam when bull personified Dharma is asking mother cow Bhumi. So Dharma is asking Mother Bhumi, cow, what is the cause of your suffering? Dharani, right? Dharma is asking to Dharani. Dharani means Bhumi. When Dharma goes as bull, he sees that Mother Cow, Mother Earth is crying, and she has only one leg. Three legs have been chopped. Her eyes is falling tears. Then Dharma asks that, can you please tell me? So this is coming in 17th chapter, verse number 19 and 20 of first canto of Bhagavatam. Can you please tell me what is the cause of your suffering? So Mother Cow tells that what are perceived to be cause of my suffering is cause of suffering, not the cause of action. Suffering. Why I am suffering? So she said that many a scholar they say that there are many causes of suffering. Advaitavadi who believe that soul and super soul is one. One day soul will merge into super soul and become super soul. They say that one's own self, one's Atmanam, one's own self is cause of suffering because one's own self is under illusion. So all you have to do is that illusion has to be removed. The cause of suffering is that illusion. Okay. So that Advaitavadi says. Who is saying this? Who is saying this?
Advaita.
Right, but who is saying this?
Bhumi.
Bhumi.
Bhumi is telling.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Bhumi, Mother Bhumi.
this is the Mayavadi, Advaitavadi would be Mayavadi.
Yeah, so that's what she's saying, that there are many, uh, cause of suffering indicated by many scholars or many theology. You're right. So she's saying that Advaitavadi says that illusions that is imposed on oneself is cause of suffering. And Daivagya, they say there is something divine. There are people who say that I don't know, but there is something divine. They have no name, form, quality, pastime, nothing. It's superhuman power or planet. Sun is causing it, moon is causing it, something divine is causing it. Mimamsa, who believes in karma, they say one's cause of suffering is one on action. That's the philosophy of Mimamsa. So what you have to do? Engage in action that does not create the reaction. If your action is good, then you have no bad reaction, and then you are not going to be forced to suffer. And Lokayatas, who are follower of Charvak Muni, he says that one's swabhav, one's nature. So these are just the different scholar citing the cause of suffering. So Mother Earth is citing those. But the Vaishnava, they say cause of suffering is apartarkyad. Apartarkyad. Tarka means reasoning. And apra, beyond the power of reasoning. And anirdeshyad, beyond one's imagination. So Vaishnava, they are saying that I don't know, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to say what is the cause of suffering. It's beyond one's imagination and beyond one's analytical understanding, reasoning, cause and reason, cause and reason. So it's beyond that. So Mother Earth is saying that some says that Atma, some says Daiva, some says Karma, some says Svabhava. Vaisnava says Apartarkayad and Anirdeshayad. But Vyavharikas, follower of Purana, they say Kal. Kal is cause of suffering. Time is the cause of suffering. So these three factors, Vyavharikas, astrologers, and Vatsayana, that is coming in fourth canto when Maharaj Dhruv, so Dhruv Maharaj, he finished his tapasya, he came back and he is king, and his brother Uttama was killed by Yaksha. So he started killing all the Yaksha. Left, right, he started annihilating them. So at that time, his grandfather, Manu, Shambhu Manu, comes and he says, stop, 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 enough is enough. Enough is enough. You have done enough killing. And you are doing all of this killing of Yaksha, thinking that your brother was killed by this Yaksha. Stop. The cause of your brother to be killed has many reasons. Many scholar gives many reasons. And then he says, Vyavharikas says Kal, time. With time, everything is coming in existence and everything is annihilating. So we all are getting old, right? We all are being killed each and every minute, every fraction of a second. New body is coming, old bodies getting dissolved. Dissolution of old body is happening and new body is coming. So time, your brother got killed because time has come. And the astrologer says it's fate, one bhagya. If you have a bhagya, they look at your hand and they'll say, very good fate. Your fate is very good. Don't worry. This life, you are going to have all the opulences. All the richness will come at your feet. By the way, somebody's looked at my hand and they said that, your fate says that you'll never cross the ocean. You'll be always, in India. But I don't know, it didn't come true. So just give the example, right? Daivam will say it's all coming from your uh, fate. And then Vatsayana, author of Kam Shastra, he will say Kam is the cause of all the suffering. Kam here refers to the desire, sensual desire that one has. That's the cause of suffering. So they are saying there are many causes of suffering, right? So who I should blame? Who should I blame? Mother Earth, Dharni is saying, who should I blame? There are different cause of suffering given here. Who should I blame? I know. Shambhu Manu says to Dhruva, whom you would blame? Kal, Daivam, because it was fate of your brother that he will be killed by Yaksha, or is it because of his desire, of being a better king some more possession. Which one to blame? Right? So why we wanna talk about this thing? Because this verse says here that there are 5 cause of action. Right? So we are trying to, and one of the cause is Daivam. So we are going through this verse because we are trying to give you the understanding that what are the most prominent cause. So this comes in ninth chapter, first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. When battlefield of Kurukshetra is over, fighting is over, and Pandavas have been victorious. They are announced victorious, and Krishna is now planning to leave Hastinapur, go to Dwarka. As he's trying to depart, he sees Mother Queen Kunti running towards him and asking him that he should not leave. And then she is praying to Supreme Lord. नमस्य पुरुषत्वादियम ईश्वर प्रकृते परम अलक्ष्यम सर्वभूतानाम अंतर्बाहर अवस्थितम जन्मस्वर्या सुताश्री यदमानम मधः पुमान नयोरहत्य विधातुमयि त्वयि किंचन गोचर. All of these verses, one after another, is coming. Nama Purusha Twadiyam Ishwari Prakriti Param Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Purusha Twadya Ishwaram Nama Pankaj Nabhaya Nama Pankaj Angre. So all of that verses are coming one after another. And then once that part is done, then Maharaj Yudhishthir, he starts lamenting. And he is crying, lamenting. And what is his lamentation? His lamentation is that everybody else, Dronacharya, my grandfather Bhishmitamaha, Karna, all of these great warriors, all of these great fighters, they got killed because of me. There are so many women today who are widows in my family because of me. What is happening? Ultimately, I'm going to be, I'm going to be pronounced as a king, and I'm going to be really getting the benefit of all of these fights and killings and everything. Ultimately, who is the king? Yudhishthir is the king. So he starts lamenting, that how can I get rid of this sin? I have done a lot of sin. Then Lord Sri Krishna asks Yudhishthir Maharaj, please come with me. And he takes him to Bhispitama. And this is the departure time of Bhispitama. After this, chapter 10 will be departing. So Krishna brings Yudhishthir Maharaj to Bhispitama, and then he requests Bhispitama to give him instruction. And then Bhispitama, knowing that Yudhishthir Maharaj is going through deep lamentation, you can see the picture. Yudhishthir Maharaj is hearing from Bhispitama. Lord Sri Krishna is standing behind. So this is a beautiful segment of discussion which we do in Bhakti Vaibhav course. So later if you join that program, then we'll have in-depth discussion. So he is saying, who is saying? Bhishpitama. He's saying, Sharvam kala kritam mane, bhavatam cha yad apiriyam, sa apalo, sapalo, yad vase loko, vayur yuha ganavalihi. He says, I consider that all apriyam, bhavatam unto you, bhavatam to you, chayad apriyam, all that undesirable, unwelcome thing that has done to you, sapalo, it's all due to by time. Okay, so this is all that has happened due to time. And how time works? Vayuriva ganavalihi. How time is working? How time controls all the living being? This is a beautiful example. How time is controlling all the living being. Like Ghana, cloud is controlled by air. So Ghana means cloud. Cloud has no resistance. Any amount of air can push it and take it wherever air wants to take it. So time is cause of everything that has happened to you. And how this time is controlling? This time is controlling like wind control cloud. Why this example is given? Why this analogy is given? The analogy is given because cloud cannot say, I don't want to do, I don't want to move. No, let me stay here. Let me be where I am. I have a very good life. I live in America. I have a nice house. I have 2 or 3 cars. You know, my sons and daughters are very good. They are making money. They are sending me everybody, every month. I have a good bank, balance, and I'm liking it. Don't touch me, please. Let me live. I mean, you are not doing anything for me. I have managed everything very good in my life, and I want to stay in this position. Can you just leave me alone? You know, no. 100% death rate, Prabhupada said. What are you talking about? Somebody said that, Prabhupada, don't you think that India has a very high death rate? People are dying soon there, and in America, people have longevity. Prabhupada said, tell me any person who has surpassed the death. It's in India or it's in America. Death rate is 100%. 100% death rate. So, this cloud is controlling, the cloud is being controlled by the wind. And cloud has no choice. Okay, so he says all of the living beings, they are controlled by time. And then in the next verse he tells what is that time. Nahi yasya karhichid rajan puman veda vidhishitam yad vijnasya vijignasya jigyasa. So vijignasya yad vijignasya yuktah muhyanti kayo apihi. O king, no one can understand the plan of the Lord Sri Krishna. So kalo asmi ham. This time is no one, but time is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he says that everything that's happening, it's happening due to time, as wind is controlling the cloud. But oh my dear Yudhishthir, you should not lament. Why? Because you are not the cause of all of this killing that has happened. This killing has happened because it was desire of Supreme Lord. Man desire, man proposes, God disposes. It's all His desire. So, nahi asya karichidarajan puman veda vidhisitam. Even someone is veda vidhisitam, very, very learned, very learned, knower of all the Veda, who can do the reasoning of why something is happening and why something is not happening. Even they, muhyanti kavyopihi, even those learned personality, they are bewildered. So no one can understand plan of Supreme Personality of Godhead. You should not think that you are the doer. It's all coming from Sri Krishna. That's his plan. An example, beautiful example here. Krishna said that I'm not going to fight, but he fought. He took the wheel of the chariot and ran towards Bhispitama. So, Yudhishthir Maharaj, you should not think that you are the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering is coming from Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why Tashmad, therefore, idam daiva tantram vevashya bhartar sarvaha tasya anu vihito anatha nath pahi prajah prabhu. This is a lesson for us. Very important lesson. There is a reason behind this verse that I wanted to go through it. Very powerful lesson. Very powerful lesson. So he is saying, Tasmadidam Daiva Tantram, O Yudhishthir, therefore, Daivam Tantram. This is all coming from Lord Himself. Okay. Don't get unnecessarily confused. It's all inconceivable plan of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what you can do? Bevasya, wherever you are situated. Tasya nuhito, follow the need. And Nath, O Master. Nath here refers to king. O king, Anath Praja, serve the helpless citizens. Don't get, so now Yudhishthira has to become king. And Vishwadama is saying, don't get confused. There are other verses, but I just kind of wanted to give you the essence. Don't get confused that you are the cause and because of you all of this happened. No. Stand up and know that this is Lord's inconceivable plan. Get up and do your duty. In the picture, I have Prahlad Maharaj. So much torture happened from Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad Maharaj knew this fact that this is all coming from Supreme Personality of Godhead. Normally we say that if Krishna wants to save, nobody can kill. And if Krishna wants to kill, nobody can save. Prahlad Maharaj has drid faith. सुदृढ़ विश्वास का है from firm faith. What firm faith? Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarvakara Siddhihaya. By doing the devotional service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything else will be fulfilled. So, there are different cause of action. But other cause of action, adhisthanam, karta, karnam, chesta, those are secondary cause. The primary cause is Daivam. The primary cause is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, O Arjun, Oh Arjun, I know you are looking at the body, my uncle, my aunt, my this, my that, and you are thinking that I am the doer. That's coming out of your senses. That's your intelligence telling you. And you think that I will not fight. I don't want to do this endeavor. But please know, this is my will. So now in that context, you can see all of these verses. Okay. And what is the power of that will? Vayur iva ghanavalihi. As wind is carrying the cloud. So living beings are carried. Hence, get up, Arjun, and fight. That's what this verse is saying here. Maharaj Yudhishthir, don't get don't get into janma karma cha me divyam yam viveti tatvatah taktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. My janma and karma is guhyam, very very confidential. You know, I'm here to dharma sanstapnarthaya. I'm here for the establishment of dharma. Nimik matra bhava savasachi. You just become instruments in my hand and fulfill my desire. Okay. So sariravan manovhiryat karma prarabhate naraha nayam va viparitam va panchaite tasya hetavaha. These five factors cause all the right action and unright actions. So right doing and wrong doing. Nayam or vipritam. Na ayam, nayam, na ayam, nayayam, and viparitam. All of that is caused by these five factors. Hence, don't develop the doership mentality. But I would like to give a pause to ask if anybody has any questions before I go start talking to the next set of verses. Is clear? So far, the discussion is clear.
Prabhuji, thank you for deep analysis on this. Um, so, uh, so basically, I was this verse says five factors of action, and you delve into the why we are suffering and that question about Bhumi Devi and so
Dharma.
and the explanation of Bhishma Dev also um, that it is Kal. So Kal, so you said the Vaishnavas they think it is inconceivable. Bhishma Dev is a Vaishnava, but he thought it was Kala. So uh, yeah, can we say that? And then he later said that nobody can know the will of the Lord. So basically, he agreed that it was inconceivable. And initially, he gave the mm, gave that blame to time. Uh, so that is interesting that he also thought it was inconceivable ultimately.
Right. So it's not like that these are not the cause of suffering.
Mhm.
Karma do play cause in suffering, right?
Mhm.
Right?
Yes, yes, yeah,
One Svabhava do play cause in suffering,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
One's own self does have to play a role in their suffering.
Mhm.
Fate has to play the role in this. So all of these have to play a role in the suffering. But the point is being said here that all of these are suffering, but Sarva Karana Karanam is Bhagavan.
Mm.
So don't stay limited only that okay, if I can take the illusion out, then I'll become God, you know, or if I can please the Daivam, then I will have no suffering. Or if I can rectify my karma, then I'll have no suffering. No. In nutshell, this is saying that you have to basically go and please the ultimate cause, Krishna. And how we please ultimate Krishna, ultimate cause? By
But
bhakti.
Devo.
Manmanabha madbhakta madhyajiva
yeah,
namaskuru.
still,
So,
yeah.
so that's the inherent discussion. You know, Krishna is telling Arjun, which we kind of expanded, that ultimately you should be the instrument and follow the, you know, teaching that I am providing you and help me establish the dharma, because it's all happening because of my desire. And then there are other examples given that how. So here is a picture that I wanted to share, and in all of these pictures, you know, Bhishma is also, rest assured, that Rishi Maharaj is sitting here in this picture. Bhishma also knows that he is sleeping on the bed of arrow because Krishna has sanctioned it. So there are two factors. Suffering has ultimately, in this context, two factors. One factor is Lord's sanction, and second factor is desire of the living being. So that's what is here. In Parikshit Maharaj garlanded Samik Rishi with snake, dead snake, he also thought that I am the cause of suffering. You know, when Dhru Maharaj was chastised by his mother, he also thought my mom is the cause of my suffering. When Draupadi was disrobed, she thought that herself and Pandavas, none of these, you know, persons were around here. They are helping me. You know, they are cause of my suffering. Prahlad Maharaj did not think, but he could also think that these demons who are torturing me, they are cause of my suffering. And we talked about that when Maharaj Dhruva was fighting with Yaksha. He thought these Yakshas are cause of my suffering until Shambhumanu came. So these are examples where one can, many examples where one may think that I am the cause of, you know, my happiness and I am the cause of my suffering. But ultimate cause, because all of these causes are controlled by Krishna, right? Krishna can control all of these things. Hence, he is the ultimate cause. So the discussion here is that superficially or there is a, you know, remote and immediate, right? So maybe as an immediate cause, these items may appear as cause of suffering, but ultimate cause is Supreme Personality of God. It's very important to know this thing. Very, very important. So even we are doing bhakti, Krishna is making us do it, you know, he's helping as Guru, as Shastra, you know, where we are getting the knowledge from the scripture. Who is giving that knowledge? Srila Prabhupada. They are all instruments of Supreme Lord. So ultimately, if you see, everything is coming from Krishna. So that's what Krishna is teaching to Arjun, that, oh Arjun, these all are, all the bad and good that's happening, these are happening due to these five factors. So don't develop the mentality of doership. You know, don't ignore these five factors and say that, you know, I'm the doer. I'm going to be doer. I'm going to be doing it. Rather, develop yasya nahankaro bhavo. Develop the mentality of not being the doer. Why? Nahanati na nibadhyate. You know, even hatva api sa imal lokan. If you act for me with the mindset of being non-doer, even you are engaged in fight which will end up killing people, and you may think that by this killing, that's one of the fear, any normal person would have, that by this killing, oh my gosh, I'm going to be getting tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of karma, and this karma is going to bound me eternally, you know whole life, that's all. After this, I'm never going to be free from this suffering. Krishna says, Nahanti na nibadhyate. You are not going to be punished as a killer, and this is not going to cause any reaction which will bind you. So in bhakti, the action that is being done does not create reaction. Very beautiful, That's why we should study Shastra
Prabhuji,
very systematically.
this
Yeah.
18th chapter starts with the question, which is best, Tyag or Sannyas? And
hmm It's
uh,
summary. Please remember, it's summary of the entire 17th chapter that we have read. So first section was, basically talking about engage in karma yoga, right? And then here Krishna is moving up now. He's saying that, what are the different superficial cause that appears to be working, but one has to have that faith, you know, either they are impacted by guna. He's going to talk about guna now. So modes control all the activities and all beings. So we had a chapter on guna, right? So I think it's very logical progression. Yes, Prabhu. So what was your question? Why he's talking about action? That's what you were going to ask?
no, what I'm trying to say is, Lord has already kind of set stage of the highest standard, and if we fall from the highest standard of Tyag or Sannyas, we will have mixture, good, bad, or mixture of
Yeah,
activities.
istam and istam mishram. Yeah,
Mishra. So that has been established. So
right.
the suffering which is coming is part of the bad part,
Right.
right?
So the suffering part was not basically part of the discussion here. Just to make the point clear. So
Mhm.
real verse is, verse number 17 here, and 14, sorry. And then all of this slide that you are seeing, I added to make the point clear that although there are five factors, but Daivam is the most prominent factor. And all of that was just to make that point clear that superficially there might appear some other factor, but the prominent factor is Lord Himself. And then we are coming back to this point. So, so this cause of suffering part I added in that mix just to
Yeah.
make this point clear
Mhm.
that ultimate cause is Supreme Lord.
Mhm.
If we don't do that, then one may think that all of these five factors have the same weight. Five factor each 20%, right? But we are trying to say here that however weight you want to see, but one factor is prominent, one factor is basically causing all other factors. Those are factors too. And
Prabhu,
yeah,
Daivam is a main factor because normally people says, right, suppose we are lazy and we are not doing anything, is it because of God? No, right? Because we are not putting our effort. And then God has to sanction, I agree, God is also there. But
yeah.
so I'm trying to think, I mean, maybe you can tell me, like, if you
No,
make
please
God
ask.
as the main factor, so people,
Will is also another factor. Desire
sorry,
of the
Prabhu?
living being, desire of the living being is also factor. But the desire itself is not sufficient factor unless and until it's not sanctioned by Supreme Personality of Godhead. So uh, one may desire, I may desire to become, big, sannyasi or number one pure devotee. That might be my will. But unless and until Krishna will not sanction, it's not going to fulfill. Or I might
Yeah,
have it.
but if I have all my sincere efforts, maybe Krishna may not sanction right away, but he may sanction on the way.
Yeah, he will
But
sanction.
where all these, maybe that might be good cause where all these are added, right, Prabhu? Suppose for my, suppose means just, I'm trying to think, right? If God is the main factor, then maybe we may throw everything, whatever we don't do, on the
That's a good
God.
point. That's not the intent of this discussion, though. That's a good point, though. But it's not to blame. It's good. Thank you for asking that. One should know, in fact, I gave once class on this subject, and then somebody texted me, very heavy message, saying that, so are you saying that Krishna need to be blamed for everything? I said that's never the purpose. That is never the purpose, and that should not be purpose of this discussion. Okay, this is basically giving a higher insight. For bhakta, this is a high insight, very deep insight, that superficially there might appear some causes, but you know that this cause is just temporary for short time. This is going to go away if Lord desires. So the blame has to be given to oneself. My will, I had that will, and due to that will, Krishna sanctioned it. Now I realize that the will that I had was not right will. You know, it was bad. And this is it's being said here. Now I am Vipritam. I know the good thing, right action or wrong actions. Whatever has happened, it has happened because I had the will for it. But now I'm not going to get engaged in right action, nor I'm going to engage in wrong actions. I'm going to engage in supremost action, bhakti. So you are right. Very good that you brought it. I wanted to talk about that. One should not blame. We are not blaming. One should not blame. Oh, Krishna, you will see that, people say that, agar Bhagwan hai, Daivam is there, then why I am suffering? No. Krishna has sanctioned that because you had that desire. The independent will that we say living entity has, so that living entity has that will to desire. But that desire is not going to be fulfilled until Lord sanction it. So it's not for blaming, but it's to make broader understanding that how the things are functioning, how the things are happening. Okay, Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. So then Krishna is getting into the theme to help understand that this part has to be understood now. That why the good and bad things are happening, because you are in guna. It's like just very good summary. You are in the guna. Living beings are in guna. So verse number 18, he will introduce that what are the factors that motivate the action. Motivation, action motivator, not the factors, but how action is being motivated. He says Jnanam Gyam Parigyata Trividha Karma Chodana Karnam Karma Karteti Trividha Karma Sangraha. Trividha Karma Sangraha. These are the uh, three method. Trividha. What are the three vidhas? Jnanam, knowledge, and Gyam, object of knowledge, and Parigyata, knower. So what is knowledge? This is a quiz. In 13th chapter,
Hmm.
what is knowledge? The yoga of supreme person. I think in 15th chapter we studied about it. What is knowledge? Can somebody tell me?
Knowledge. Knowledge. Okay, yeah. I mean, knowledge is
13th chapter, the nature, enjoy, and consciousness. We studied about it. What is knowledge?
Knowing about soul and super soul.
Knowing about soul, super soul, and prakriti. Kshetra and kshetragya.
Mm.
Yes, yes. So body and Lord and prakriti. Right? We are living being. Lord is super living being, and there is relationship through prakriti. So that's knowledge. Knowing that is knowledge. If that's not there, but here knowledge means also any other knowledge. But according to Bhagavad Gita, true knowledge is these three things. And what is object of knowledge? What is object of knowledge?
object
Knowing.
knowing the super soul.
Kshetragya, Kshetra, Jnanam, and Gayam. Gayam, object of knowledge, is knowing that Supreme Person is Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is the Supreme Person. Okay. And who are knower? How many knowers are there? How many Kshetragyas are there?
Two.
Yeah. Soul and Super
Super.
Soul. Right. So three motivators of action. And what are the elements, constituents of action? What are the element that comprise action? Well, any action has some work and then some instrument that is being engaged in doing that action, and then there is a doer. So doer is using the instrument to do the action,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Right.
karma, karnam, and karta, these are, so in any action right now, just take the example. I am the doer. You all are doer. We are using the instrument of speech and listening, and the action is we are studying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So likewise, any work has this uh, three element, and then he says that these three, gyan, gyam, and parigyata, and karma, karnam, and karta, these also are impacted by guna. They are impacted by guna. So now the variety is coming. So one may ask, okay, then why this? Why I'm doing that? Why I have a will to do this? Why I have a desire to do that? Why I have a desire to eat meat? Why I have desire to have this? All the desire that comes, right? So there are few uh, verses from here until maybe I don't know what's that last verse, but you will hear so many threes like that. Okay, so we'll try to get through this very quickly. So this knowledge, work, and worker, they are also under three modes. So according to three modes, there are three kinds of knowledge, gyan, three kinds of work, karma, and three types of worker, three types of doer. So Krishna talks about knowledge that is in the goodness. So what is the knowledge in goodness? Sarvabhuteshu yanaikam bhavam bhavyam avayam ikshate abhi abhiktam abhiviktam vibhakteshu. Vivictam abhiviktam vibhakteshu means although we have a separate body, but there is same element. Tas jnanam vidhi satvikam. The one who knows that, his knowledge is said to be in satvikam. Tad jnanam, you can say tad jnanam vidhi satvikam. That knowledge is in the knowledge of goodness. What is that knowledge? Sarvabhuteshu, all the living being, although they have Avivyaktam, they are manifested or not manifested. They have different forms and bodies, but there is one soul. So he sees that every living entity are soul. What is that verse in 5th chapter? Anybody remembers? This says that the dog and dog eater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he
Swapake.
sees. Yes, Sopakecha. Yes. Sunichaiva Sopakecha Pandita Samadarshina.
Samadarshana.
Yeah. So Samadarshi is the one who is seeing on the platform of soul. So that knowledge, what is knowledge? Knowing soul, super soul, and prakriti. So so person who sees on the platform of soul, sees super soul. That knowledge is in the knowledge of goodness. But on the other hand, a person who sees that these are all different living beings, they are all different. Prithakvena tuyat jnanam nana bhavan prithak vidhan. All nana, different types. There are different types of living being. Veti sarveshu bhuteshu tad jnanam vidhirajasam. They all are different living being and they have different body. Okay. So jnana and passion is that by which one sees that there is different types of living entity, different types of bodies. So cat and dog and fox and bear and everything else, they are all different. They have no connections. But Satyaguna is the one who sees that no, although Sunichaiva Sopakecha, dog and dog eater, they both have same spirit soul. So looking on the platform of body is in the mode of passion. But yattu Krishna vadekasmin, Krishna, Krishna vadekasmin, kare shaktam ahaitukam, at atat atatvartha vad alpam cha. This is basically atatvartha vad alpam cha, tat tamasham udharitam. These are the example. What is the example? It's to Kritshan vad ekashmin, working for the sole purpose of maintaining one body. So knowing that I'm a body, and then ahitukim word is being used here, just working with the intent, with the goal to maintain body. That's all. What is the goal of the life? Jade, jare jibe, tare ghee pibe, something like that. So as long as I am alive, my goal is to drink ghee, butter. That's the purpose of my life. I have to do, who can crooks to have that luxurious life. Okay. One who is thinking like that, then that person's knowledge is in the mode of ignorance. Vidana in the mode of ignorance. Sole purpose, working for the sole purpose. And that is material minded people, both Gyan in passion and Gyan in ignorance make one material minded. You have nothing to do with I have nothing. There is no connection between you and I. And my sole purpose of life is, oh, Bhagwan, there is nothing. There is no God. We all have come from Big Bang. All that, illusory knowledge that is present there, you know, that's all either in the passion or in the ignorance. Okay. But thinking Pandita is in the mode of goodness because Pandita is thinking that whatever body one has received, one is soul, one is, part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The living entities are part and parcel of Supreme Lord. Amayansa Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Amsha, they are part and parcel. So let's finish here and we'll resume from verse number 23 next class. Any realization anybody has before we adjourn? I'm gonna stop sharing the slide.
Yeah, I mean, in 13th chapter, Krishna says about Prakritim Purusha Chaiva Sad Yoni Janmasu, right?
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
Bhagavad Gita. Yes.
uh, when we associate with material nature, we have to take birth in different because of that brings us all the desires. So that, I mean, the whole goal of Bhagavad Gita is to transcend the modes of material nature,
Yeah,
and it's
through bhakti.
saying in different ways in different chapters, summarizing it again and again, hitting that point. Um, uh,
Gita Upanishad, that's basically essence of all the Upanishad, right? So it has to be essence. Yes. Krishna has said many concepts in different contexts, right? I totally agree with that. And that happens, the slide that you saw, uh, who is cause of my suffering, that also runs in multi-section of Bhagavatam. So yes, that's true. That's true realization.
so when we talk about motivation of action, we are talking about desires, right?
Yeah, what
Material,
motivates action to happen,
yeah,
right?
desires.
So action happens with there are five factors for action to happen. It has three elements. These five factors, three element and three motivators. Jnana, Gyam, Parigyata. So what motivates? I I have to get something, right? Object of my knowledge. I have a knowledge. What is that knowledge? My knowledge is that money gives the happiness. Okay. So what is the object? Be happy. So what I do, try to do something, right? I become the worker to work for money to get the happiness, something like that.
Hmm.
Anybody has anything else up to verse number 40? Krishna talks about all these modes, and then he will start talking about purification through prescribed duty of varnashrama. So from verse number 41. So I think next chapter, it's all three, three, three. I will try to finish quickly uh, up to verse number 14 next class, and
Can we
then
talk about homework and submission and exam, Prabhuji?
homework. I think it should be. I would let Bimal Mataji to talk about it. So the very first uh, file that I had sent, zipped file, it has all the study materials and homework. Right, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. We have a zip folder with all the homeworks and materials.
So if you have the zip folder, then I don't have to upload it individual chapters. You are good. You can just open that and start doing your homework. An exam, I think we should set it up. Exam, you should set it up. I'm going to maybe take three more classes, 3 or 4 classes, 1 month at the most, and then we are done with Bhagavad Gita. So I'm fine if you want to give the exam in second week of July, third week of July, something like that. I do not have problem with that. But just a food of thought. Thank you for
Yes, second week
bringing
of
that
July.
up.
Okay.
Second week of July would be okay, right?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
so week
Yeah.
of 8th July.
Yep. Hope, hopefully we'll be.
Perfect. Yeah. So maybe
He's ready.
13th, July 13th. That's the date for now. That's the date. Should I log?
Uh,
Tentatively,
let's yeah,
tentatively.
tentatively we can make it. We have to do all our homework by then.
Right. So all the homework in the previous chapter is completed, right? In the previous
Uh,
module.
Unfortunately, not Prabhuji.
Yeah. So please, work, keep on working. I think, you will learn more by doing the homework.
Yeah, definitely.
So
The
I
homeworks are
request
very
devotee to go ahead, because at the end of the day, I'm going to look at all the homework. And if I don't see homework, then it's not good. Then your score will be low. So please take some time, little bit rows, thora, like 5, 6, 10 verses. That's how I completed. Every day trying to get some time. Mostly I did over weekend. On weekend, I'll just have like 3, 4 hours. I'm doing the homework. That's all. But when I had my Bhakti Sastri going on, I had different curriculum, different routine to follow. Then now I have a different one. I added some more stuff, more service now, because I think, but still I have my daily study. I have apps and so many books by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. I believe in studying Shastra thoroughly, all the books written by His Divine Grace Prabhupada, of by our Acharya, and by knowing that, you will see this same concept in different context, and it makes things very clear. Same thing, if you hear in different context, it will make more important. It will make better impact. So I would just say that Daivat, Bhagwan, Supreme Personality of God, it is control of all the control, all the factor. But if you go through the example, oh, then it makes more sense. So all of this, I request you all to be, very thorough in Sastric study, because that's how you will clean your heart. And devotional service, engaging in service for sure. But Gyan has to be there. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all next Saturday at the same time, 11 o'clock. You good enough?
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you, Prabhuji.
वंश कल्पातरु भैष्ट कृपा सिंधु व्यवश पतितानाम पावने वे वैष्णव नमो नमः संबल भक्त विंद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव विंद की जय। धन्यवाद। प्रणाम।